Kenyi retina ne wala teso kupeta suna wipo. Akoto na kuchukuta teso na rangi makini. Ndio sina ndio na makisi na dawa. Kweli ni polo. Akoto na yeye amina chana ka kidai na chika no ya auto so ni Manuel no akeje ya kapi moria ero porque se ya sacó na. Kuna gari kile ngaba kuna gari kile inashika Sara. Imori kise somero kile Sara na gari yesi mkawa. Uganda College of Commerce. Autana swam ICSA because the swam of the year. Abu pape kochu Oyao Sara Uganda College of Commerce. Kwenye alimungo be ajenyo mapapito ara emokeli Dr. Edward Okelo ekochu apepe parang na ilo marasa tusukole apopa muto around papero inachan donobo Edward Edward Kiramo Chamgresule inachane yenadia inachane Okupete lo luce pikere. Lo mari mo Uganda College of Commerce. Young papa Sara. Ogogo da ina chani. Kwenye abuonga abuela chano gyara ogogo lo pesokoli. Nara kwa yao nae. David Opio. Eko jikelo chen are captain. Every Najua leo kichi mara mtego ni hatu yake So alaite sokole bala ya met na aja na chani amini dete zinachana experience bali ni yes era kwa wabedi wewe muli Sara na igemejisi all out ina chane aito gogongoro anu obuni ko ni Paulo di iri bara iri te sokole wale marti bara marti budo wala nu ngada na kamuni yesida lolo munde ina chane ron enga aijene Sara aijene David kila aijene George ajaika ukan ari ko samade George ese ko sinabu na biaswa Konya buijo tam ikabe bora da ikosi konya buijo ikabe kalamu o jamu ijo ya marita do da ka ka emo be pasana marita do alusido mo elo mari na chikalwa makere aswami kisira temi Paulo buda da buda buta alo mare mo makere aiso lake lo ikisila Instead of Nachetale back to Buddha and also ceremony. It kind of is idea of the council, I think we're going at there. So, we need another Kabila meeting now. George, that room you're talking about in the Uganda College of Commerce, it was hostel 7. Rosalie. And I was downstairs, George was upstairs. So, Apollo in my channel, no, Apollo na channel kila nachanel, minutu no taita. Abia kilo muga mireja unipo rebeja una aibu mono nyogore. Aibu mona buno dumi, kapo gara na chete koshu. Ido na kalbe. Araibu lo dumi. Aibu moni, chakuni egala papa. I know no do you have no model. Roke mambera bitere loda. Obuga ndosi eso. Around in a channel lady channel Apollo. Ido ida tutumalu. Akmakora ajara eja kaitla abu ngere mnare rajista na cheka akekera mpame. Egava na ila bako ndana. Peso kole yuko konepe Edgar died, the daughter Michael, Ego, Atini. Peso College, and lawyer. Michael, I get out because I want to do. When I put a job last year, not that I will educate to the Senate. Almost around the professor. A common law is in a label. A young man to the Sudan. Ladies and gentlemen, in short, what I've been saying is I was trying to eulogize my sisters, Sarah, and also remember David and George. But my point of initiation into this family, where I enjoy so much brotherhood, was our dad, Jose Jonathan Agulakochu. Because Edward and myself, Professor Edward Okeno, joined Teso College the same year. And Auntie Gertrude Karat asked us this morning, why are you fighting a little bit? Indeed, we were fighting a little bit, but not the fight of hatred, but the fight of brotherhood, where you kick the other. If you are stubborn, you. Everybody used to kind of bully us quite a lot. But I wouldn't allow him. It was quite a bully, but he knows he was a good footballer and a sportsman. But I wouldn't allow him. But that notwithstanding, we still became brothers. So that was the initiation of brotherhood into this family, and that's how I knew Sarah, that's how I knew George, and that's how I knew David. Because David and George came to Teso College, so it was so easy for them to blame me because Edward had already initiated that brotherhood that we had together. And when Paulo came briefly, I also caught his eye, and when he went to Budo, I had already been initiated in the brotherhood with him as well. Dr. Michael Atini came into Teso College. I think we were a year ahead of you. I don't know their memory, I can tell their memory a little bit. But certainly, Edward, just remind me.
We were, I think, ahead of him.
Yeah, we were ahead of Paulo and Dr. Michael Atini. So all that was initiation because of Teso College, a great school that Mzee Kochi chose to bring my brothers, hence the brotherhood that is still subsisting until today. So we can't have Salami class, but I'm thanking God so much for the lives of these people. And because of that brotherhood, I've had, there is no single occasion that happens here, whether in happiness or in sorrow, that I don't attend. Because of that brotherhood. And it's not pretense, it's deep-seated. It's deep-seated. We do things together, and we enjoy it together. Paulo is we do business together. You know, with the legal fraternity, it's business. Lawyering is about business, actually. So it's very important. So when you get such brothers and sisters initiated into your life because of friendship. And by the way, my father, Eliphaz Magino, was a very good friend of Papa Akosi, Elia Paulemuru, because when Elia Paulemuru was going to Amuria to see your mothers, he would actually stop in Oduri, and he would find them actually. By that time, he was driving a Bogward. I said, we were young, we could see an ugly car into the compound. But little did we know that this was a very expensive car. And when they would go together in the Bogward to they would go to Dr. In Abuja, they would go to, I don't know if I remember, Dr. Diego's home, because we were very good friends. So I was privileged actually to see our grandfather. And those days, let me tell you, my people, to be a chief in Teso, it's more than even the chieftains in a kingdom. Those people were really cherished and they were so nice. You know, I don't know who said, I don't know it is Auntie Gertrude or my brother Paro, that's 7 miles. That's a quality that none of us can emulate. And that is because they knew administration. Yesterday I was taking my son to our home in Odudwi, And my father had 3 wives, but all of them were in the same house like this one. I told my son, this was my mother's bedroom, this was my stepmother's bedroom, and this is my stepbrother's bedroom. The influence they had, I mean, how do you really do it for women and put them in one? But if you manage to do it, that is a sense of governance that we are pretending that we know now, but those people do governance. I want to end there. I want to thank you so much. Paulo, kutume salamu kini jonara abeti ngafanya ra mumu celebrations nara na dia roni ti akunere ama meo alusti makina dodo down bona cho ko yote ya unde abulwa so nto na meja yoda ja ja no that I kotomo na kaneko cho lot bam kwenye arama ho eso anyara otra I did each and all national kwa usekina. Akoni etodori okoka. Kuni etodori okoka. Brian, can you stand up and greet these people? Okoka la polono. I'm using the after kwenye kukurikina disi. Yoga. Ara kani moja maso. Mwoni kwa iteke na moto kala bure. Mwe moka uteke kinesa kama. Yarama wonoi ido ida deswa suban. God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Naba, those levels of administration, don't try them at home. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the last round of our speeches. Allow me to invite my senior brother, Council Paul Ekochu, to lead us through the next session of those speeches. Papa is senior council. Thank you.
On this day of celebration, I'm going to do exactly what my elder did. I'm going to copy exactly what he did and give the microphone to my brothers and sisters to say something, and then I will lock at the end. And I will start moja kwa moja. Wapi Charlie? Charlie kuja hapa. Captain. Hey, Captain. As he comes, I want to thank you very much again for coming. We are really very warmed by your presence here. This would not be what it is without you, the guests, and our friends and family here. Yes, we need you to say something about your brothers and sisters. This is a man who grew up in the 70s under General Idi Amin, a man of a few words. Richard. Where's Richard? Richard. The microphone is red. Not look, that's red. Sorry, I was somewhere around for Antidote. So much has been said about my brothers and my sister. They were all very, very good people indeed. You know, sometimes when a lot has been said about people, you can't really add much more, but just accept that you notify the citizens and family. You never knew them. That these were people who were good in totality. Good people. Now, I will go to a few scenarios for each person. David. This was a man who was very principled and consistent in his own ways. When we were there in TV, on Sunday, he would call you. Richard, I be you. You come in the evening, come home. See what is there, you come. And you go here. There's some Moroccan here to eat. If I let us eat, there's a Moroccan. I said, no, you call me all the way just to eat. Then next Sunday, again, Saturday, he tells you, are you in Kampala? Yes, I'm in Kampala. You buy from me Moroccan and bring from Nakasero. I said, that is Moroccan. You can buy. He said, no, the one in Nakasero is the right one. I said, no, wait. So David was very particular, consistent, and very principled in the way he did his things. And then when he disliked something, he would openly show you as a brother, because if you disliked it, you really disliked it. And this goes to the political statements sometimes which you see on TV, and he's watching with you at home, you're having a drink, then he will shout, Richard, switch off that TV before I kick it. Just switch it off now. I'm going to kick that TV, it's nonsense. You know? And he was very serious. One day, I actually threw a book at the TV. He said, switch off that TV. I told you to switch it off. This was talking nonsense. I said, okay. So I knew that when he didn't like something, you had to listen to what he had to advise you to do. Now come to George. George was somebody who grew up playing together because he's the one I actually followed. And George had a no-nonsense approach to life. If he didn't want to do something, you would not convince him in any way whatsoever to deviate from whatever he has decided not to do. I, for one, I was a person of so many friends. Go out for, in teenage days, you want to go out for parties, you want to go out and have fun with your friends. He said, brother, let's go and see this party. There's a party here. I'm not going there. You don't want nonsense. You know, he was that kind of person. And he would stick to it. Now come to saying that he's going to do A. If he says he's going to help you on an issue, by his word, he will follow it to the word and make sure that he does it for you. In whatever you ask him to do, if he can do it, he will definitely stand by it. Come to my darling sister Sarah, who was so kind. Very kind girl, very beautiful. And we shared the same kind of likes, because she was a person who liked perfection in her looks and her attire and the people she used to mix with. She didn't like to mix with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. She was very particular. And she was another strict, no-nonsense lady. If she said no, it would be a no. Whether you try to say what or what, it is a no. And that was sad. So, with those few words, I just want to say that these people were really good people. May God bless their soul, please. Thank you, Richard, for the stories. Professor, floor is yours.
Okay.
I'm not
If I can stand up. The edge is catching up, eh?
I can talk from there.
I can start.
Greetings, everybody. Thank you for coming to be with us and to support us. This time not in sorrow, but in a celebratory mood. Thank you so much. You know, more than here, we're married to different tribes. For me, I'm married to a white tribe. So I bring you greetings from the other tribe. I could have come with them, but as you know, the cost of flying these days is quite prohibitive. But God willing, maybe over Easter, we may come back to be with you. Now, much has been said about Sarah, George, and David. I can only add a little bit more. I'll start with Sarah. Sarah, to say, was very calm and composed. Papa used to call her Sarai sometimes when he was in a very good mood. He called her Sarai. Calm as she was, but she was also a very determined person. She would not be shifted from her own program. I remember one time she was going to school and she went to the old man's office at Parliament building. She wanted money. The old man said, I don't have any money. Well, he said, okay, I'll wait until you get some money. I'll wait until you get some money. So the old man was going up and down. Sarah was still sat where she was. In the end, I think he went to one of the neighboring offices and said, please, help me send me from this girl and send her to school. And he found some money, and off she went. That's how determined she was. The other thing was, she was my bridesmaid. She came all the way in 1989 to be my bridesmaid. And it was a lovely, lovely bridesmaid, I have to say. Unfortunately, a year after our wedding, she passed on, which was very, very sad for us all. But she was very kind. George, on the other hand, also very quiet. All these people were very humble people, not like some of us who were a little bit, can be a little bit on the edge, that sort of thing. But yes, George, very calm, very composed, and very disciplined, and very, very principled. Okay. George never really used to phone me a lot, but once we talked, we spoke for many hours. The year he died, he phoned me 3 weeks, I think, before he died, which I'd never done before. So I said, this must have been some premonition, whatever it is, thinking, I'm going to say my goodbyes, because he never really phoned me that much. But we got on very well together. He always said George was a very good sportsman. Yes, he played cricket, but one of his other passions was basketball. He was a very, very good basketballer as well. We were all sort of sports people in the family. So, well, I think we all are. Me, footballer. Richard, where footballer? Well, where? Okay. And you played a bit and you scored in your own goal. Right. Betty, very good badminton player. And basketball as well. I think you were. Basketball? Yes. You might think she's short, but she can jump very high. Paul, very good badminton player as well. Very good. And running as well. Opio also was a long distance runner. I can also add my brother here. You don't know him. Michael, I think, very good goalkeeper. You can't get the ball past him. That was very, yeah. What was that one? A lot of malice going on in here. Yep. David was, again, very diplomatic, very, very composed sort of chap. He used to like his drink as well. He was in Manchester doing his masters, and he used to visit to Newcastle. And he had his people a little bit, one too many. And in the morning, him and my wife Louise, they got on so very well. Having hangover, I said, Louise, chicken soup, please. Chicken soup. That's his remedy for a hangover. So Louise will make chicken soup for him, and he'll be fine the next day. But he was a a lovely brother, very principled, and we dearly miss all of them. God bless them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My sister, Dr. Elizabeth Ekochu. The microphone is now going to you. Back up from there.
Thank you very much, everybody, so much for coming. We appreciate you. Some of you have come from far, and you have stayed here up to this time, so we're just grateful. And our hearts are warm because you've joined us to celebrate people who we really, really loved. And what can I add on now? People have said everything about my siblings, the things that matter. The big thing, I think, for us as a family, and I want to appreciate it because having grown up now, I've realized that in other families, the love, the sibling love bond is not sometimes as strong as the one in ours, and even in the extended family. And that's something big. And we should not take it for granted, but I think it's something that our parents inculcated in us. I don't know how, but it came to be. And we grew up in a very busy home, run almost like a barracks, eh? Yeah, it's time to eat, time to bathe, starting from pole going upwards. And you have to scrub your feet outside first, eh? Don't go and make that bath dirty just anyhow, eh? You had to wash sheets with mommy. Today you're washing, wake up early, pull sheets from under people who are sleeping. So it was an interesting household. Now me, I was in between because I am a girl, and number 4 down the line, and Sarah came much later. So I was very girly, but at the same time, somehow with the boys as well. So I got a bit of both. My brother, I respected him because he was actually the leader in the family. He was our firstborn, and in every respect, he took that role very seriously. When now my son here is making me laugh. You should see Arthur. He's bringing his head like this, and he's online, and Jocelyn is showing me. Arthur, stop it because I lose my train of thought. So he took his role very, very seriously. But they used to get sometimes in, boys fight, eh? So our brother here had a bit of a temper, eh? This one here. This one here. And somebody else. There was a time he was chasing David very seriously, and I was the only one who could outrun him, I think. And he had something dangerous in his hand. No, he was aiming for something dangerous somewhere. So I outran him to pick that thing and run off with it. But then there's another time when he ran and actually did some damage. But he got some, and it was David again. So I don't know what it was with you and David. But that's how we grew up. There were some ups and downs, but we had to be panel beaten until we are who we are now. And along the line, those bonds that, because you share certain memories, certain experiences, that's why you can be as a family. And the things we laugh at, maybe some of you may not find funny, but it's because we've shared some experiences. So David, very principled in his approach to life. And when he started falling sick, I remember struggling with how to talk to him to say, David, we have to go for treatment. And he dodged me a bit until I also became stubborn. And I think in our family there is a stubborn streak in each and every one somehow. And that's also been inculcated somehow. That you say no or you say yes to something. So I just insisted and I said, we're going together. And so we went together. And from then, God was gracious and really gave him life. And I appreciated him for many things. Number one, when we were together, he always loved that family thing. Number two, he looked out for us when we were still young. Number three, his sense of purpose, especially in terms of career and what he wanted to achieve in his academics. You know, David, up to the end, he would be like, I have a lot of lectures, I have a lot of work to do, and he'd have that work. Me and Paul sometimes would joke and say, but let him just let go a bit and relax with us. But he had a sense of purpose. I think he wanted to achieve something. And sometimes I think maybe it's a spiritual thing that pushes us that way, because you want to achieve something before you leave us. That was David. He had a very gentle way of talking and laughing, and he loved children. He always loved children. He gave my children quite a number of things, and the last one was when they were graduating. He gave them those different books about managing your life and things like that. He was always serious about you having a purpose in life. So that is him. For Sarah, I miss my sister. I missed her so much many years ago. And somehow because we never had this function earlier, I think we didn't have proper closure for Sarah. Because it was very difficult for us, if you realize it was very difficult for us to talk about Sarah. It's not a topic. Sometimes I'd bring it up, and people would sort of shy away from it, until I realized that we actually hadn't had a proper closure to Sarah. So today is special. We can actually remember her, talk about her, and then we can have a closure which is from deep in the soul. Sarah was a very beautiful girl, beautiful inside and beautiful outside. She was naughty, very naughty, and also stubborn. You heard about the stubbornness, because if she said no, it was no. If she said yes, she did with all her heart. She loved children. She'd always come and visit. Gabby and Victor, they were carried and carried. To the point she asked me once that I love children so much. Do you think I'll have my own children? That was sad. Sometimes I think, maybe she should have just left me a child. Yeah. Someone to remember her by. But you know what? It's not the child that I would remember her by. It's the memories of her that matter. Playing badminton, coming to parties with me once she was grown up enough. We were bunched together a lot when we were young, me, Sarah, and Paul, because I think Mommy thought we were the delicate ones, and those people were a bit rough, Yes, rough on us. So for us, we were bunched. We would go for holidays at Auntie Frida's, where we would have nice tea and cakes and whatnot, and you people could, I don't know what you are doing in Kampala, but I tell you, for us, we are enjoying a different type of life. So in a way, that is part of the bonding that we had as we were growing up. But I remember some serious talks also we had, like when she went to UK, and she's like, Betty, I'm not going to come back. I want to make a new life. I want to read, I want to study. And she had started studying. She had started working, and she had started studying before she fell sick. So she had a sense of purpose in her life. It's just sad that she left early, but that's life, as they say, and we just remember her in her special way. She was a fashionista, having been in Damasagali and gone through all those things. She would come home and show us how to dance and things like that. One time she came back, and towards the end of the holidays, she said, I can do the splits. You know what the splits are? That you put your legs and they go like this, like a ballet dancer. Hey, she forgot she had not been practicing. So she did it, and she stayed down there. She stayed down there, and that was funny. But she was also always on my case. You know, most of you who know me, that I just carry an afro. You see, even her afro there is different. It's not a pure afro. She put some little flair. And she would be on me saying, you're very boring with your hair. Very, very boring. And then she would comb my hair, do it this way, do it that way. Me, I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, that's not me. And I'd put it back. So even with this artificial one, it's still an afro because that's how people know me. You have to accept me as I am. Yeah. So for George follows me. So in a way, there was a way that we grew up near each other. When he had these accidents, I remember escorting him also. All of us had to escort him at one point for physiotherapy. And that's when I decided I would not be an orthopedic surgeon. I would not be a surgeon because it was too painful to watch my brother go through that physio that he had to have. But he was tough. He braved it until the third time he broke it, where he said, "I can live with this." So he had that toughness about him, and then the resolve to say, "I can live with this." Whereas mommy was like, "You need to go for physio and whatnot." That was it for him. But he was somebody who I appreciate deeply, first of all, because after staying here, he had a very good sense of family and he knew people around here. So he was able to tell me about what home is all about, who is here and how we are related and how we are connected and all that. Because we knew when we come for holidays, we meet all of you, but it's not as deep as when you stay here. So he had that opportunity. And at the same time, he took his, how should I put it now? He took his responsibility of his home when he was here very seriously. When George was here, this home was alive. I think you can testify to that. Because he was here and the home was well kept, well everything. We are struggling because we are based in Kampala, but we really appreciate him for that. He loved his home, he loved his family, he loved his son. Arthur, you are loved. Yes. Yes. And the legacy he has left for you is really to do well, to be responsible like him, to look after your mom, of course, as much as it pertains to you, but not to tie yourself down because you have a life to live. We are looking forward. Me, I'm now on my sons because their age is getting out of way. I'm on all of that. See them. So I'm just passing you that wisdom and legacy. And just to let you know that your father loved you just as he loved all of us. He was somebody, when we'd have family dues, sometimes some people are noisy, I'll not mention who, but some people will be talking, but George would be quiet with a smile in his corner. And he would say a word once in a while. And he would laugh with everybody, but he was there and his presence was felt. One thing we used to tease about you, and I'll say it today, is that George would want to stay for long, and my mama here would be like, we need to go home. Up to today, we have accepted you. We've accepted you as you are, but you would be like, you want to go, and George is still enjoying his family. I said, anyway, they have their middle ground, they know how they sort themselves out. But he loved family, and he loved us all. I want to stop here because I think everything has been said. I think the biggest thing about it all is to love each other and care about each other. Caring is sharing as it is, but to continue with that legacy, all of us, because who knows how long we are on this earth. We have prayed. We know that goodness and mercy will follow us all the days of our life. There have been many challenges in our lives, but you know that God has been good to us. And for me, I appreciate that. Now, somebody's like, the way he's looking, I think I've over-talked, so I think I better stop here. Thank you so much for listening. I can read expressions.
Seems you don't know my expressions very well. My questions are always blank. Before I close this, of course, there is still one very important person who has to talk. We have a mom at home who daddy left us with, who has to say something, and then I will say the last word.
Hello, good evening. You are all welcome. Sorry, I disappeared a bit. I had a lot of things to do somewhere behind, but I'm here now. We are so happy that today this occasion has taken place. We have been waiting for it, we have been wishing for it, and our hearts have been yearning. But today we have remembered all the 3 children, Sarah, George, and David. You have heard a lot about them this evening, and those who are very close to them, you appreciate. The memory will always live in your minds, because we don't forget the people we have lost. They have gone from us, but they are within our hearts. And they see us, because where they have gone, we believe, as believers, they are in a good place. They are with the Lord. They will always look down and see and appreciate the family. What Betty has said about families, loving is caring. Where there is love, there is care, and the family stands. Where there is no love, there is no care, and there is no family. It has always been preached by the clergy, the church, and the people who love and know how to care. They preach about it. Let's love, 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 and stop hating. Care for your neighbors, not just your immediate family, your neighbors. Then you ask, who is my neighbor? You know them. Stop the hatred. Stop bad behaviors for the young ones. Look at the elders who have spoken. Follow them. Shape your lives. Then you will be in the right path. These ones have gone. They have left a legacy. That's why we talk about them. Look at yourself and say, now, supposing I go today, what will they say about me? What legacy am I leaving? So you try to look back. Put the camera in yourself. Look at yourself and shape your lives. What I leave for you is this home is still standing, and it will continue standing. This is part of area Paulo Mulu's home. The smaller one, the big home is there. He had a big home. The home will continue as one, and it will continue loving people. The door is open. You're always welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And always when there is something, please communicate. You know the people. You can communicate, and let's be one. Thank you. Pray for you.
Thank you very much, Toto. And finally, I'll say a few words and we can continue to make merry as we celebrate the lives of our brothers and sister. But first, what I'd like to do is to thank all of you for coming, to thank the people of Omodo Bilai who have come here to be with us. To thank the service providers who have given us the food, the tents, the security, the music, entertainers, the cherubims. To thank the bishop who so graciously came here and presided over this ceremony. I want to thank my elders who are always right on our back and keeping with us, for being here with us, for supporting us, and for keeping the flag flying of the home and legacy of Papa Eria Paule Mulu, Papa Jonathan Ekuchu. I want to thank my brothers, my sister, my siblings, my cousins, who have been so instrumental in organizing this occasion. This was supposed to happen last year in September. Unfortunately, we lost Uncle Martin and we had to postpone it to this day. But it has been a journey of organization to try and put together all that you see here. It looks very easy at this point, but it's quite an uphill road to organize all this and get it done. And you cannot do it alone. And thank you so much, my brothers and sisters who have helped to do this, for all your contributions, your time and effort. And of course, my nephews and nieces who are now the incoming engines, the new models. Our engines now are 50s, 60s, Bogwards. We are now getting the new Mercedes models who are coming in. And they are doing a very good job, as you have seen things happening. Now, I heard somebody say that there's a stubborn streak in everybody in the family. I don't think I'm stubborn. I never had the opportunity to be stubborn. Being the last one, you can imagine if you attempt to be stubborn, the various people willing, without pay, to make sure your stubbornness is stopped at that point are there, and they had good hands. Some of them would fold it into knuckles, some would just do the bare one. So how could I be stubborn? If I am, it is just acting. Just acting. But family is everything for us, and I'm happy everybody is talking about family. I have grown up from childhood not knowing who are my real brothers and real sisters until probably I was in T3. I knew my eldest brother was Henry. I remember when I was taken in a car when you were going to Russia, 73 or something. And you're going to the airport, I was taken with you and they say your brother is going to study. I knew this is my eldest brother. And so later on I realized, no, it's actually David who's the eldest. But so, in that home that we're talking about, that Auntie Rose was talking about, it was in English, it was no English, tabula rasa. Everybody was in Jamula, we were all growing together. And I was fortunate to be the little one who was babied. My earliest memory of David, let me start with David, is at the burial of Tata Ayaro. 1968, 69. 69. I must have been 2 or 3 years old. But I remember very clearly, because it was in that old house that had now been broken down, and there was no coffin, and she was lying there, and I don't know, I had walked in, and suddenly I was terrified. There was everybody around me who I didn't know, in a place, there was a dead body. When I knew that now life had ended, I felt arms grab me and lift me up. And who was it? It was my brother David, who held me, and I stuck onto him like a tick until the end of those ceremonies, because I was so scared. And that's my first memory in life I can remember. It is that burial and my brother carrying me. And it is indeed true that he has always been an elder brother, the perfect and quintessential elder brother. Always there for people, even when he doesn't have the means, at least he'll have advice and tell you what he can do, what he cannot do. Even when he was weak, he would still hold himself with dignity and be able to, be there. He was quite an interesting character, like Richard said. He was temperamental in a very interesting way, not shouting or anything, but quietly in his corner. I remember one time in the 70s, thieves came home, and I don't know, thieves were very brave. How did they come to that home to rob you? Some people are very, very, very brave. They came on the window. I don't know what David was doing. He went to the window to see whether there was a thief. That's very funny. When the thief ran the other side, he went to the window. When they went to the window, the thief hit the window. David ran from from that bedroom to daddy's bedroom in darkness without knocking a door or a wall, and with a long corridor. Reached the thing, knocked till they opened, came, and he entered the room. He must have tried to go under the bed. I do not know why he didn't go under the bed. But I remember getting up and going to, we were all picked up. It was now a problem. They called, the soldiers came. There was no thief, there was nothing. But what I remember that David was, my big brave brother also gets scared. Then I realized that life is not easy. If he also gets scared, then there's a problem. But that aside. Later in life, I actually went and stayed with him when he was teaching at IPA for a short while. I stayed with him for a while, and it was quite comfortable. And in later years, when he left IPA, he came and stayed with me at my home for a while before he started teaching at Nkumba University. He was, as everybody has said, the quintessential elder brother. Sarah was the sister who I followed. So she was the closest to me in terms of playing with my auntie there, Susan Alejo. We played, we tried. We went to Lake Dick together. My problem was that, I don't want to character her because what she was. My problem was that because I followed her, I was always in school nearby, and people used to wonder, why can't you be like your sister? When I went to Namasagari, the first day, second day, Father Grimes got me he misunderstood me for some reason or the other. He misunderstood me and took me to his office and beat me very seriously. And as he was beating me, he was telling me, why can't you be like your sister? I was saying, Sarah, what am I going to do with it? What? You're making my life very hard. Okay, you first calm down, don't be too good. So everywhere I was going, when she went in the car, I followed again. Why can't you be like your sister? And then again, the brother came. Why can't you be like your brother? But I got started. That's what was just misunderstanding. Misunderstanding happened. Being misunderstood person. So Sarah was my very good friend. And because we were close in age, we happened to live at home together for quite a while. And the most memorable time we lived with Sarah was in 1985, from the 27th July 1985 up to the 26th of January 1986. You know that period. Those of you are old enough. In December that year, we lost a sister-in-law, and her brother was shot, Martin Anomon. And Mommy left, and so we were left at home alone. Just Sarah and I at the height of disorganization in the country. None of us was working, but we had to survive for that 1 month. And Sarah became the automatic leader in the home and the provider. I do not know how we ate food, where we got food from, what we ate for those months until the liberation. And interestingly, there were 3 soldiers from EPU of Obote who were staying at home indoors for those 6 months, who we are also looking after with Sarah. Ariko, I think he's still alive, Ariko, who was Martin's bodyguard. Gilbert Ekudo, and then another man was called, I forget his name, from Caterpillar. And Sarah and myself were there to look after them, and we were all looking after Sarah. She became the mother for all that time. How situations make people, you see the character of people in situations. She looked after us like all of us were her children for that time until after liberation. Then Mommy came back and things came back to normal at that time. George, my brother. George, we became very good friends over time. And whenever George would come home, and like Betty said, he would really have a good time. And that's when you'd hear George talking. In the family, there's a bit of a stammer. So those who stammer the most usually talk less. George was quiet and humble. So when you come home and he has a story to tell, and you listen to him, he had really fantastic humor. Fantastic humor. I do not want again to go back into his character because everybody has talked about it. But I'd like to just say, in terms of keeping friends, I have been meeting with George's friends over the last 1 year since he passed. And it's amazing the kind of friends George had. I don't think George had any friend who had been his friend for less than 30 years. That he has new friends, all of them are friends he has known for 20 to 30 years. Now, George passed in 2022, September. The prelates here will tell us that after you die, you go to a better place and there's a good life. Indeed, it must be true. On the 1st of January, 2023, for some reason, I was looking for New Year's messages on YouTube to see what is happening around the world on YouTube. And I landed on a service by a church called Faderu. I put it on and I was doing my things. Then I came back to the sitting room and who do I see on the TV? George and Josephine. I was in shock. I said, why God are you showing this to me on the 1st of December 2023? My brother singing and clapping to a song to God. I called Claire, come and see this. And I rewound. I said, have you seen? This is George. He's there. How in the world, what are the odds that we will see him on this day, 2023, when we lost him just 4 months ago? And why is it that I came to put on the TV today? Usually I watch it in the bedroom, I put it in the sitting room and I started cleaning, and there it was. And I said, this is a message from God to tell us. George is in a good place. He's singing and relating with God in heaven. That's why he's showing you that don't be sad. Your brother is happy. He's happy somewhere clapping. I couldn't understand it, but that's what happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, be pious, lead a good life, and you'll have a good afterlife. That's the message I think I had from Mama. She said, I had from Dr. Gertrude, I've heard from everybody. I'm not a priest, but I think it's something that we should think about seriously, because I think heaven starts here on earth, doesn't start later. It starts here. You start being good here. You don't wait until the last minute and say, okay, God forgive me. You start being good, then you just proceed to the next thing. So when we say family is good, family loves, family cares, extend it to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. I hope you've had a nice time. I hope you've enjoyed. Please continue to enjoy with us. Continue to be with us, communing and celebrating the lives of our siblings who we see there, and hope that we who are here can live up to their legacy, the legacy of this home of Ria Paul and Mulu, Jonathan Ekochu, and the rest of us. Emudia Koliai. Emudia Koliai. Yesu, Yesu, ni mwana wandika, o I've been told that if I do not do something, I'm going to not get Kisanjas, which I'm supposed to have done, because what Jonathan said earlier on for Mr. Paro, that if he doesn't, my dear wife, I'm here with my dear wife of 23 years, going on 24 this year. Claire, please rise up and tell the people. Thank you for being with me for all these years, and you can testify for everybody that I'm not stubborn.
Thank you very much. And I totally agree with you that he is not stubborn. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me take this singular honor to invite all of you to humbly stand up, and we just observe a moment of silence for 1 minute for our faithfuls departed in celebration of their life. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Please, let's be seated. That was a powerful message from members of the family, and the ones who are the immediate siblings to the faithful departed. However, as we wind up, before we get something from our band, I just wanted to request our senior brother, Mr. Michael Atinyego, to just greet. Some people here don't know you, just greet them alone. Just greet. Yoga bereso de pligamana, lemusol masergino sao, merekwa ina.
Atere ayuganoi. Gilma suri esa pre ayungun kere so. Ami nashkeri nachuma ranyatoni. Alaman gunere. We all had the messages that have been talked about them. Look at I need to know what legacy are you leaving behind? Will they talk the same thing about you? Yes, I can use it. Alaman.
Papa is Kapuma. There's a brief message that is going to be read before us, before we continue. And the message is coming in shortly.
Yes, our sister Susan Amuge in London sent a message and asked me to read it out to you. It's a very short message. And she says, "My beloved brothers David, George, and my sister Sarah, though you are gone, you are not forgotten. Your precious memories will live forever in our hearts. May you all continue to rest peacefully in heaven." Susan Amuge. I also have something I wrote down for my brothers and sisters, which I thought I should read out as we close. It was something I had prepared in a moment of reflection. And if you allow me, it won't take us more than a minute. I'll read it out. And I would like some backup music for this. Our sister and brothers, we sit here and ponder as we may how much we'd like to talk with each of you today. There are so many things that we didn't get to say. We know how much you cared for us and how much we cared for you. And each time we think of you, oh, how we miss you so. An angel came and took you by hand and said, your places were ready in heaven far above. And you had to leave behind all those you dearly loved, and they forlorn and bereft. Their love for you a trove. You had so much to live for, you had so much to do. It still seems impossible that God was taking you. Oh, how we miss you so. And yet, though your lives on earth are past, in heaven you all started anew. You live for all eternity, just as God has promised you. And though you have walked through heaven's gates, we are never far apart. For every time we think of you, you are right here, deep within our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those messages. Ladies and gentlemen, just allow me to recognize our service providers. The food we had was prepared by Vico Catering Services. They're based here in Soroti. And the head office is at Hilda's Cave, just behind the cathedral. We also have our service provider for decoration, Kevin Adiro. Please stand up and wave to us. Thank you very much. She is my OG, and from P1 she has been terrible. She has been number 1 or number 2. So we suffered really with that regard. Thank you very much. The public address system, Opolot, that public address system is from the village here. It does not go to town. It is fully deployed here. Thank you very much. We only need to give him backup of IT people to back him up so that we do other things. EKON TV has been streaming us live. Mr. Deke, thank you very much for being here with us. Of course, like we always say, and as usual, our security has been manned by Arrow Security Systems Limited, the only authorized company to guard all family installations, among others, in all parts of the country, including here. Thank you very much, Arrow Security. One of the directors is here, Rodney Mukula. Wave to us. Thank you very much. Oh, some of these changes occurred without my knowledge. Council Magno is also a director in Arrow Security Systems. He says, Papa is Council Akan. Thank you very much for joining us. Those changes were made without my knowledge, but I am associating myself with them. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have an interlude from the band as we meet and greet and as we continue to make merry. Thank you very, very much. I've been Jonathan Ekochu. My late uncle Jonathan Ekochu gave express instructions that I was given that name, and that's why I have it. It's difficult to protect it, by the way. It comes at a cost. Thank you. The band, please.
Thank you.